Hello and welcome to Healthcare IT Today, where we explore the latest healthcare technology trends and discover valuable insights in health IT. I'm Colin Hung, and today we're going to talk about RPM and the hidden challenges of connecting the various devices that we all take home. Sitting down with me today is Denis Khitrov, CEO of MedM, makers of a platform that enables connected health. They've done a lot of work to connect a lot of RPM devices. Denis, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Colin, for inviting. It will be a pleasure to talk with you and describe and give some insight of this challenge that connected health are actually having these days, and how we all jointly can resolve it, and what exactly we are doing, and how we feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting what you do. MedM, you guys make that a platform that helps medical device makers, with their connectivity issues, and you help on the device side with Bluetooth, and on the software side with data exchange. I gotta be honest, I thought all of the devices were actually already compatible with each other, but that's clearly not the case, is it?
Yeah, so that is somebody here who has a logical way of thinking will expect. But in real life, it's totally far from this point. And actually, also, if we try to remember how this chargers for the smartphones and the phones was different. So we still having a crazy diversity of these stories. In spite and despite of having there is some standards and multiple parties trying to bring standards, that still doesn't work, but as many standards actually. But people are resolving this interoperability problem in different ways, and we one of the, I'll say probably most of the mutual guys who spent already more than 10 years building a really most connected platform and understanding how we can help the whole community and the whole ecosystem to grow, to bring healthcare to the new paradigm and the new way of thinking and operating, more in preventive way. No?
Right. And so, Denis, can you maybe explain for me what happens when people don't have your platform? Like, well, what kind of interference can happen? What are some of the bad things when the devices actually don't work together? What can happen for a patient or when they're using it?
Well, there's in the digital health right now is one of the very popular terms, interoperability. It's very often used a lot in context of difference between data exchange of EHR EMRs, like real healthcare record system. But actually, this is much wider. And in real life, so even simple devices like blood pressure cuffs or pulse oximeters, temperature meters, they already enabled and able to send data, the results of the measurement, but every speaking a different language. And the problem that RPM service providers, remote patient monitoring service providers, experiencing as also interoperability problem, but a little bit different way. It's really not that easy to have an open solution where you can cherry pick those sensors that you really like from different reasons, because of the brand, because of the color, because of the availability on this specific market. So people can get a solution from guys who making glucose meter, or guys who making blood pressure cuffs or ECGs, and that will be three different systems, all three claiming that they have the whole RPM story. And finally, RPM provider having their three different systems to be integrated, somehow aggregated together to bring only one solution. For big hospital, for chains of hospital or medical service service providers, it's a big challenge. They can't scale. They need to have a special technical and system integration partner or own in-house department. And that's a big point, an obstacle to push these services. And actually, there is an obvious way, just following the standards and having the standards. But there are so many reasons a lot of business reasons, and also some probably false motivation in terms of understanding where is the business focus, which brings just increase the diversity and interferences. As a result, if somebody would like to deploy the RPM, they need to find the right software vendor, right hardware vendor, and then be so much stick to the solution that replacing their, for example, blood pressure cuff could be really not easy or even complicated. And of course, everybody, or probably adding another solution, like you get something that already have a glucose meter, blood pressure, and weight scale, and you'd like to add spirometry. But adding spirometry to existing solution that is already deployment could be a big pain, because this specific vendor of the solution doesn't provide it. And integration could take a really valuable amount of time, and even system could be not ready, prepared for this kind of scaling. So, and that is strongly different with our paradigm, how MedM was doing the story for 10 years.
Okay. So it sounds like what you're describing is a lot of these device makers have a walled garden. Like they've created their own connectivity for their own devices, but that those devices don't really talk to other EHRs and don't talk to each other device makers. So they basically try to lock a hospital into just using their own devices. Is that right?
So it's probably it's even more than this, I would say. It's a little bit more complex. Yes, actually, what is happening, it's even not only about device maker, because how it's happening, device makers, those who manufacture, those who OEM, mostly Chinese vendors, but there are some Italian vendors, US vendors, so German vendors, multiple parties. They do white labeling, and they're a part of the supply chain for the system integrators who are sourcing from them. Or for some retail vendors, there are multiple retail vendors. You can go to CVS acting as a retail vendor themselves, or you can buy in Germany, for example. Here you can buy in a Lidl. They have their own branded connected devices, a sub brand of this retail network. But and these devices are actually grabbed from different OEMs that sold under same brand. And the point is that then having this set, some software pieces sitting on top of that, and it's fully tuned for this story. And the layers and modules used by system integrators is complicated. This is one point.
Right. So how is MedM solving this problem? What do you do to help software device makers not be so cut off from everyone else in the world?
So, first of all, it's all about focusing.
Okay.
We're extremely focused. We're software guys, and we do the software. And we, for 10 years, for more than 10 years, actually, the project was starting more than 10 years ago. We are focused on the building a framework for fast deployment of such a connected health solution.
Okay.
And I used to pitch our story as a kind of a Lego. We have some standard bricks, and we have a reference constructions, and we build those reference construction as the requested, most needed pieces. Like we have in a house, we have in a crocodile, and we have in a submarine, and we can make a yellow submarine. We do white labeling and OEM services. If somebody would like to go with yellow, we can make a yellow submarine. If they would like to have a pink crocodile with a little bit taller tail, we can do it with the same bricks, or we can let our partners to do that. So what we do, we offer in the software modules to collect data directly, peer-to-peer, right from the sensors, and make this layer to be transparent for our partners and customers. So if anybody would like to get data from few hundreds of different sensors, we get the same interface. Like if one of the sensors speaking Chinese, another Italian, another Spanish and English or Deutsch, we make them all speak in English and give a translation fully transparently. Hey, you can talk with all these sensors in English. We give them these drivers, and then we have the whole RPM piece and we can provide SDK if anybody already have a user experience and would like to plug connectivity as a part of the new story, like extending of existing functional, or we can make a really fast deployment of everything because we have this reference house, and it's not a problem for us even to add a custom roof or place some custom characters right there if it's needed. So basically, we give very well developed OEM modules that is ready to deploy.
So basically, what I'm hearing is that as a device maker, instead of me writing software that won't be compatible with other devices and other systems out there, I instead use your platform. I allow my sensors to be accessed by MedM, and because you've done the work, you can connect to other devices and other systems for me. And you've done that with many other devices.
Yeah, so Colin, it's even better.
Okay.
So it's not like the device vendors are using us. We're doing the whole job work. We only need to get this communication protocol. We sign in NDAs, we sign in license agreements where it's needed. And we do this stuff with our own resources. We're writing drivers and the whole system already exists. We only plug in as a sensor. And sometimes it just needs us a couple of days, sometimes even hours, depending on complexity. But if hardware vendor is open for partnership and give a proper level of knowledge and connectivity for us, we simply plug it to piece to our system and the rest is already exist. And what is the most important, that existing deployment, which is already in the market, can easily like this, get this sensor connected to and be used on the and their platforms and their environment. We're simply making this upgrade, and that is there. But for the end users, for the doctors, for patients, for system administrators, it's all the same. It's just like a new model appearing there. Like you get another blood pressure cuff on the shelf on the CVS, and you just can go and buy. Here it's just a new model is right there, and you can use it. That is really important for scaling, especially for international projects, like some companies who supply and do all system integration for pharmaceutical case studies or trials.
Okay, so somebody who's using, who connects with the MedM platform, what you're saying is that when you add new devices, I don't have to do anything to make use of that device because you've already done the connection with that sensor.
Yeah, it's more or less like this. So if you make any deployment, and actually you even can do it because we also have a B2C solution for family care, for where you can track your children or your parents, or even just your family members, or sometimes even friends. You can install it, and we do intensively adding more and more sensors that you can buy online from Amazon or from pharmas and any other sources where you can buy it. And if we release a new one, you can buy a new one and just use it with the system. Same with those customers who use the whole solution. Of course, upgrade is needed. Unfortunately, there isn't like very exact magic. Like if you change the software version, you still need to upgrade. But this part could be for the end users, that could be transparently made. It's not even about us. We are good guys, but so that's simply what already existing environments are enabling to do. We really reducing the headache for scaling and connecting to other sensors in all possible ways, via the whole solution, via the branded and customized application, via the SDK, which could be plugged to the solution. And also, of course, some kind of consulting, because cherry picking we're not trying, we avoiding to be affiliated, but depending on their use case, the good understanding of the sensors is important, because there are streaming devices, there are sport devices, there are devices who could be used with several users. There are some devices that can keep history bigger or longer. We know all of that because we work directly with the manufacturers, with the vendors. So it's a totally ecosystem win-win-win-win-win-win-win story, because the knowledge we have from one side we can share with those who building solution, and the requirements that come in from those who really do an operation in field. We can transfer this request and this knowledge backward to the sensors makers.
Gotcha. Dennis, where can people go to find more information about MedM?
Wow, medm.com.
Hey, if you enjoyed this interview with Dennis as much as I did, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you're listening and watching. Also, head on over to healthcareitttoday.com to access free resources, industry news, and insightful articles. You can also connect with us on Twitter using the hashtag HITSM. I'm Colin Hung. Thanks for being here.